Welcome to Passages, the podcast where life gets deep, friendship gets real, and the wisdom of the Bible flows, usually right after a debate about tacos and Bigfoot. Join Patrick Birch, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton as they explore Scripture, share great quotes, and occasionally get sidetracked by snacks and bad preachers.
We shall meet, but we shall miss him. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him when we
Wait.
breathe.
I'm not going to linger to caress it.
No?
For the record.
Oh,
Well,
I mean, we have to caress everyone who leaves and returns.
that's right.
Like you tonight, Jason.
We caress you upon your return.
Let's just fist bump.
we shall live.
Well, folks, if you hear this music, you know that we're flying in the missing man formation tonight.
We breathe.
Our dear
We
friend,
have not been at full strength in a while.
our dear friend Drew,
It's a tough It's tough being in the summer.
has passed away.
What?
No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I'm sorry. I always mess that up. He's actually gone.
He's no longer with us.
He's actually speaking in Chattanooga. I want to apologize for that. Sometimes I just speak out of turn.
He's gone to the gray beyond, and by that we mean beyond the Alabama state line.
East Ridge.
Well, as we get started tonight, Tim, I need to apologize.
Okay, what about?
So when we were talking about VBS songs
Yes.
and my probably irrational hatred of one certain song,
I know it. Yes.
Father Abraham.
Uh-huh.
He
Well-
had many sons.
He has many sons.
And many sons has Father Abraham.
Had.
True.
Had.
It is past. I get it.
Well, in their infinite wisdom, the social media algorithms have blessed me with a version of Father Abraham that I think that I like.
This is AI generated?
No.
No?
Let me just play it for you.
All right.
The girl them skill out chick.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons.
Wait, is this from
had
Lipscomb
Father
University?
Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's just praise the Lord. Right on, Father Abraham.
We're going through the whole
had
song,
many
Tim.
sons.
The whole thing?
No, I'm
Many sons.
All right. I have a question.
I'll get winded just sitting here listening to it.
Here's my question. If you're going to go to the trouble of remixing, getting a little bass, little beat, little top hat, little percussion,
Uh-huh.
why are we still singing it to the same awful tune that we've always sung it to? Can we
Yeah.
not come up with a better version of Father Abraham?
Well, that's a good question. And we only roll Father Abraham out once a year.
Yep.
And that's
And
probably more
one
than
time
you
too
should.
many,
Yeah.
Well, even if you tried, the Video Kingdom would censor you.
Yeah. And it's,
The lights would just go out.
You know,
We turn the lights
That's
off
the
and go
night
home.
that the lights went out at Asheville Road.
Eli's one of our passengers, and he may choose to ride it off into the sunset by itself, not with it, right? But
Yeah.
And Eli, if you decide to keep it, let's come up with a new tune.
a new tune.
Just a little different ditty to it. No, we can't ditty.
No.
We don't
Nope.
ditty anything. No,
No.
please strike.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Can't talk
none
about
of
that.
I cannot talk about ditty.
Canceled.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll check in with Eli and see what he's got on Father Abraham later on.
Guys, I'm glad to be back. I missed you last week,
We are
even
so
though
glad you're back.
I would like to say I had one of the most relaxing vacations I've had in a long time. I literally did nothing. I
Great.
slept till I woke up, and then I would move to the beach and read till I fell asleep. And then I would sleep till I woke up. And then I would read till I fell asleep. And then I would sleep till I woke up. It was,
Yeah.
you see the pattern.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I did get out on the kayak. We had beautiful weather. At one point, I was paddling out towards the horizon because that's fun. And turned around and could barely see the tops of the houses on shore. So
Yeah.
I don't know how far that is, a mile, 2 miles. It was a while. I got in trouble when I got back for getting out of sight.
When you came back in, were you way down
Oh no, I
beach,
I
or you
came,
just came
I
straight
came right
back
back in. Yeah,
Okay.
Placid water.
it was fairly placid, and when I went out, I would go into the waves breaking in, so that I was angling that direction. So when I flipped, the current
They
just kind of
came
brought
right
me
back
right
in.
back. Dolphins were all around me. It was really
Wow.
cool.
That's
I did not
magical.
get eaten by a shark, which was good. Sam caught a shark while we were down there. That was cool. It wasn't a huge shark. It was a baby shark. Baby shark.
Do.
But now that'll be in our heads the rest of the
Yeah.
night. You're welcome, fellas. But glad to be back. I listened to y'all last week on the way back, and it was excellent. Well done. I think I got on Cassie's nerve because I kept pausing it and saying, I would have said this at this moment.
And so
If
that,
I was on this podcast,
right.
And later tonight, I'm going to revisit some of the things you talked about when it gets around to my section.
Sweet. And so that episode would have been 2 hours instead of an hour and a half or whatever it was.
Yep.
You know, we thought, Jason's not here. We'll end up done in an hour. And
I think it was an hour and 47 minutes.
It was long. Right. See,
Hey, it got me through a good part of the ride home coming up 231. So
Well,
I
good.
really appreciated it.
good. Well,
If you play Baby Shark, we're going to be singing it the rest of the night.
I'm trying so hard to find the song, but it's just, I didn't know there was a TV show, or maybe it's not on TV, but there was a show of it.
Of Baby Shark?
I got 60 minutes of this, y'all.
oh, no. No.
Let's kill
Let's
it and the
not.
Father Abraham song. Yeah. If we can just remove that from
unless it's a DJ performing it.
Well, let's start tonight with Yay Sports.
The team, go sports.
All right. Can you just explain what's going on here?
Hi, thank you. I have no idea.
I love that part.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the recent sports happening. The Major League Baseball All Star Game was last night over in Atlanta, and I just
you know what's not a fun time?
what is not?
Go into Atlanta on Monday and Tuesday, the week of the All Star game.
Ooh, you did?
I did.
Wow.
I had to stay in the worst Hampton Inn I've ever stayed in because
Everything
I couldn't
else is
stay at
full.
the
Oh,
Battery
man.
where
And
our office is.
I'm telling you, a Hampton Inn, that's basically camping.
So you had to
Yeah.
go to the Battery.
Well, our
To the
office,
office?
is, I mean, you can walk to the stadium from our office, but normally we stay at the Omni.
Yeah.
Just because the company has hotel rates with the hotel.
Mhm.
But they had, from what I could tell, one room available Monday night, and it was $1,400.
Wow. Wow.
Is that all?
That's all.
That's amazing.
Before you jump into your segment,
Yeah.
Patrick, I think you have the magician ability to do this. Could you cut the air on in here?
I actually do not have the
Oh
app.
no. Oh
no.
You know what?
At the
Somebody
break,
text Drew.
you know what? At the break, I'll sneak out and set it off. But I am,
Okay.
I'm starting to feel a
A
little
little toasty.
toasty.
All right. So
Drew, I'm texting you right now.
all right. So the All Star Game. So let's just start with the fact that the Major League Baseball All Star Game, which I have loved since I was a kid, is really of what I consider to be the three major sports in the U.S. Baseball, basketball, football.
Wait, where's soccer?
Yeah. So
Well, he said football.
Oh, that's true.
I did not say football.
Yeah, but
So, of the three, it's the only legitimate game that there is.
It's my favorite of the All-Star
Right.
games.
And, so, before I get into the All-Star game, in basketball, they don't even play anymore. Basically, they just go out there and stand around and they either throw an alley-oop to somebody or they shoot a three-pointer.
It's like an exhibition show-off. game.
Nobody plays any defense. It's ridiculous. In football, it's at the end of the season. All the players are completely beat up. Half the people who make the Pro Bowl won't even go. And when they do, they've even had to turn it into like a flag football game, a skills competition,
Mhm.
A tug of war, a pillow fight. I don't know what it is.
Which I like the skills competitions.
Yeah.
And there's a little of that with all
Yeah.
of them. There's a 3-point shooting contest in the NBA. You got the home run derby.
And
But
wh-
when it
while
comes
I-
to the game,
Right. And while I understand why they're doing it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
these are football players. It's the end of the season. They've made it through, unscathed. They're not
Mhm.
injured where they can't go. why in the world am I going to play another real football game against the best in the NFL?
Yeah.
You know, these are different. Both of those, NBA and the NFL, are because of wanting to avoid injury.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA players, they've got a second half of a season to play.
But let's admit the chances of getting really injured in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
And a lot of this is the putinization of America, right?
It really is. It's the consolation trophies that have caused this.
But also a lot of it is, you know, back in the old days, if the winning team got $50,000 and the losing team got $25,000 per person, that was a big deal to those players.
It was.
But if I'm making $50 million a year, the price tag really doesn't matter very much.
It's basically like you giving me a quarter.
Exactly. But in Major League Baseball, you know, generally speaking, you're not as worried about injury. You know, you may pull a hammy or, you know,
there's the potential.
There is some potential, but the potential is much less. And so, you know, last night, the pitchers in the All-Star game, everybody can throw 100 miles an hour now. It's amazing.
And they're bringing in fresh arms every 2 innings, inning and a half.
Right.
Oh, it was amazing.
And so, you know, I don't know how that changed. I'm sure it's technology and it's training. But, you know, 80s and 90s, 2000s, maybe 4 guys in the league could throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But literally, like everybody that made the All-Star team is throwing it up there. You know, first pitch, 99 miles an hour, you know, 100, 101, 102. They just, now we need to watch them and enjoy them while we can, because most of them are going to blow something up
at some point.
You know, it just, the arm is not, you know, training set aside. The arm's not made to do that much.
Yeah.
Too much strain.
Would you trade a rotator cuff for $50 million?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I'd almost give up the whole arm.
Just the whole thing?
Yeah, for $50 million.
I'd give up the hearing on the left side of my head because I can't hear anyway.
Huh?
Exactly. So the All-Star game, you know, in 2021, it was supposed to be in Atlanta, and Major League Baseball
some woke politics
did some woke politics, and I'd forgotten the exact reason, but it was Georgia had passed a new voting rights law.
It was a voter ID law.
Yeah. It was this ridiculous law that said you need an ID to vote.
I really think that's criminal almost.
And because of its terrible discriminatory nature, they moved the All-Star game to Colorado, which, if I remember correctly, had a more restrictive law.
Had a restrictive voter ID law.
At least a restrictive law.
Yep.
And
so
a lot of high people.
A lot of pipe. So so the payback that year was we didn't get the All-Star game, but we got the World Series.
That's right.
And the Braves won it all. So this is sort of the payback. It's 25, and the All-Star game came back to Atlanta. So just some general observations about some things that were going on. A little too much hoopla for me on the field at like prior to game time.
See, I didn't see any of that, so I don't know.
There was some combination of ludicrous and a number of dancers and Chris Brown and on big stages in the middle of the field, like in between the introduction of like the reserves and the starters.
Like a mini concert broke out.
Yeah, it was some
like a halftime show. It was like a Super Bowl halftime show.
It was something like that.
Now, both of those guys are Atlanta natives, though, right?
I
think they are.
A lot of this was very Atlanta based. When they introduced like I said, one of my favorite things about the All-Star game is when they introduce the starting lineups and they come out and they line up down the field and you get to see all these different teams. And, you know, because I've watched it enough on social media, the reels will come up and it'll be like the 1978 All-Star game, and they'll just announce the starting lineups, and I'll sit there and watch them just because I like to see, you know, all of those players from the from teams I remember in the past. But one of my favorite things, and they messed it up, and the way they messed it up, sometimes things should just be left to their simplicity. And so when they introduce the starting lineups, there's this row basically this sort of high five line of like what I would term as like Broadway dancers, guys and gals, and they're all giving high fives and dancing. And as the players come out onto the field, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. In fact, that sort of grinds my gears. Just, you know
what really grinds my gears?
I'll tell you that did, but I got over it.
Yeah.
On a positive note, I told Jason I was going to be talking about the All-Star game, and he mentioned what I think was one of the highlights of the evening. And that is they did a commemoration of the 715th home run of Hank Aaron, which was when he passed Babe Ruth. And it was, in Atlanta, when they were at Fulton County Stadium. But they did this amazing thing where they basically used the infield diamond as the screen for, I don't know where those projectors were coming from.
I have no clue how they did
how
it.
intense they were.
Have you seen it?
I haven't. I'm
It
looking for it
was awesome. And so it was I hearken back. I remember that night. I was 8 years old, between 7 and 8.
What year was that?
That was 74.
Yeah, I wasn't going to
You
be
was
born
not.
for a few more years.
Yep,
You
me
was
either.
not yet.
I don't even think I was thought about.
I was still born in.
Right.
I was born in that decade.
But I remember all of us around the TV that night because, he was 2/7/14 and I think he was in Cincinnati when he hit 714. And I think they may have taken him out of the game when he hit 714 because they wanted him to break it in
At
Atlanta.
home, yeah.
And so they were playing the Dodgers. Pitcher was a guy named Al Downing, and he hits the home run. Place goes crazy. There's a famous, backtrack of the announcer.
The radio announcement is
Right.
The radio announcing was the best.
Yeah.
for it.
And so they had that last night. What all did they do? It showed Aaron hitting it and running the bases.
The coolest
on
thing
the
they did
infield
was shooting that firework out into left center field where the ball went.
That
was so cool.
And then they did some kind of light up into the air, like a beam of light in the spot where he hit it.
where the ball, yeah.
Yeah. And
This has
so,
got to be projectors.
right.
But
It's just that
they
it was
said
so
that if you were in the
clear.
stadium, that I was reading comments and stuff about it, that even in the stadium, people who were in the stadium, it was pretty clear
Yeah.
and obvious to them, which it looked amazing.
Yeah. And so where that came from, maybe the top of the stadium behind home plate.
If you can figure out how to get us that for the podcast, though, we'd be pretty happy.
It does look a little brighter at home plate and gets faded as it goes toward the outfield.
you
So-
can definitely see where the grass is and
but
stuff.
that's got to be a major, like a giant projector
Yeah.
to light up that amount
It
of
covered
space.
the
whole
amount of
diamond
money
of the
that was
infield.
spent. I will tell you, I've seen a lot of sports tributes over the years. That may be the coolest one, best one I have ever seen. And I have not, as of yet, and I haven't read tons of comments. I read through most of the YouTube comments that I could get to today. I have not seen one negative comment about that part of the world,
Yeah.
the All-Star
Yeah.
game.
It was
and that
really, really
production.
good. Very well done. I don't remember when they did it. It was like the 7th inning stretch or something, maybe. It was later in the game, I want to say.
I went back and watched it
And
today
certainly they
'cause
had,
I didn't get to
and
see it
certainly they had to
live.
wait for it to get dark, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that was part of it. So, but it was very well done. I need to back up for a minute. The national anthem, Zach Brown Band did it.
Did they do a good job? I
They
hear
did
mixed reviews about
I
how
was
they do stuff.
very
like that.
happy with it. And I was, because everybody feels like they have to modify the national
Overdo it.
anthem.
Yeah,
And they did it very simply, but I felt like they did it very well.
that's good.
So I was happy with that part of it.
See if I can find us a real quick
I need to
clip
go
of
back.
this.
Yeah.
Accompanied by drummers from the United States Air Force Band and 3-time Grammy Award-winning country music band from right here in you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed
Like that little harmony.
But not overdone.
Yeah, not
Right.
trying to like.
And they're not doing these
We're not
crazy
woo-wooing it
runs
up or whatever.
Yeah.
Even at the end, they didn't try to like go up
Yeah.
high and stuff. They just sang it. And it
Okay,
was
so also in this
nice
clip,
and clean.
in the outfield, was maybe the coolest flag I've ever, there's always a giant flag.
Yeah.
And this one was in the shape of the United States.
That was very cool.
Which, it was just kind of it's a neat representation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The design they did in the outfield was very nice too.
It was Atlanta did a good job putting on that show, I think.
I agree. The last thing that I will say, I did not get this totally, and I must confess, I think I fell asleep. The game, National League was way ahead, and then the American League came back and they tied the game.
What was the tie score?
6-6, I believe. And so then I was like, all right, this is going into extra innings or whatever.
No.
And then I flip over to Sports Center or something.
Coolest way to end a baseball game that's tied I've ever seen.
What did they do? It was like a home run derby or something, wasn't it?
They would go one guy from this team, one guy from this team, hit home runs. And I think they did, 2 rounds of 2. They're going to do 3 rounds of 2, but at some point, but Kyle Schwarber hit 3, dingers in a row.
It was almost like end of a soccer game with penalty kick or the extra kicks or whatever, or
like in a hockey game, a good American game.
They have to match back and forth, right?
Yeah.
A.
So anyhow,
hockey's great, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The only I was thinking about the All-Star game. It was a few years when they really put some teeth into the Major League Baseball All-Star game, because the winning league got home field advantage in the World Series. And so they said, this is the only All-Star game that really counts. And then there was a lot of talk about whether or not that was a good thing or not. And I think they've gone back to like the team that has the better record gets home field advantage, which is probably fair. But
it gives the National League a chance to get a home field every now and then.
If you do that, it does put some teeth into that game. Yeah. I sort of liked it when they did that.
Of all the All-Star games, it's the one I'll stop and watch.
Yeah.
Now, I'll watch the 3-point shooting contest in the NBA. I think that one's cool. And the NFL Skills Challenge is great. The quarterback challenge and stuff like that. I love that. But from the game standpoint, that's about all I'm going to watch.
Well done, Atlanta. Few things that I could have done without. Overall, a good game.
So it looks like that Hank Aaron tribute was, they call it something called projection mapping. So it was a bunch of projectors,
each responsible for like a small,
like a square or something. It's kind of how, if you guys ever seen at Halloween, the people who sync their lights to music, and sometimes there'll be something that like covers their whole house. It's multiple projectors that get mapped together, and then the images get put,
It did make me wonder, thinking about the current technology, if there were a bunch of drones up in the air with the projectors or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It sounds like there were just projectors spread around the, like where the lights are in the stadium, up that high.
Yeah.
But that would still have to be some pretty high power projectors, because to project light like
and then
that,
to piece all that together so perfectly.
It was a really, really cool thing to see. And I was impressed. Now, granted, I probably couldn't hear the noise on the recordings I watched of it, but it was like the stadium just went silent. And that was a really, really cool thing. I also, watching the recordings of it, I kept looking for the Tyndall effect, where you see the particles floating around inside of the light. You know how you see dust and light beams when it's coming down, where you can see it. And you couldn't, I kept looking for the projectors, thinking surely I can see the source of these. Yeah. And none of the videos or photos I saw
probably
I
wouldn't pick much of that up.
I bet in video. The stadium they probably could see some of that. But it was really, I thought it was really, really cool.
I will say one last thing that that is really moving that they do at the All-Star game, and that is that they stop and do the stand up to cancer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole state, every person in that stadium was holding one of those cards, and they gave several minutes to that, and showed people and the players and just all over the stadium. Yeah, that was very moving.
Oh, that was cool.
Yep. We should do maybe when Drew's back and we're all settled, we should do like a list of the best Super Bowl, or not Super Bowl, best national anthems at sporting events.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because Chris Stapleton at the Super Bowl 2 years ago, I think,
Yeah.
is probably my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
We'll do that.
So I miss.
And then maybe we can do like the bottom 10 as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
There's some of those.
Yeah, if we're gonna do the best, we need the worst.
When we get Whitney Houston in there, it's probably my second favorite.
Yeah, she set
was
the bar.
in 1990 or
She's the
91.
one that the song lasted for 17 minutes when she sang it, right? The real long version of it.
It was, it took
Had
a
some
minute.
riffs and
Mhm.
runs.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, I feel like I have not just the ability, but the right.
Nay,
Nay.
the
know where we're
requirements.
going, but-
The requirements.
to go extra long tonight because I did not get to be part of this last week. And
you gotta do 2 episodes worth.
well, I'm bringing enough material tonight. Patrick, I'm going to need you to cue up Grinds My Gears and hit it when you get to it because this
You know what really
my
grinds
gears.
my gears?
What's that, Jason?
Well, guys, I listened to the podcast on the way back and y'all did an excellent job. I felt left out. I had FOMO in the past tense. It was the weirdest thing. I think that's the first one I've not been a part of, and it broke my soul a little bit not being here. But thank you for mentioning me. It made me feel very rosy and
Never
happy.
forget about you, Jason.
And then y'all got into an insurance discussion, and I got fired up in the car. And bless her heart, Cassie had to listen to me rant for about 100 miles about the problem with insurance. So I want to grind some gears in response to your insurance discussion you had.
All right.
Then I want to grind some gears about stuff that goes on vacation that drives me crazy.
Okay.
And then maybe, if time allows, I'm going to just throw a hint of conspiracy theory in.
All right.
All right. So grind my gears about, okay. Insurance really does grind my gears.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm speaking as a consumer.
You know the only people in the world that it doesn't grind the gears of?
The
CEOs.
Yeah.
Jinx.
I am pinch Coke. You owe me a Coke or a Diet Dr.
Except
Pepper.
that guy that got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing grinds his gears anymore.
Mhm.
No. Okay. So insurance goal. I'm going to spell this out. I'm speaking as a provider, a guy who makes a living getting paid by insurance companies, and as a consumer. The number one goal of insurance, any insurance out there, health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, boat insurance, whatever, is to collect as much money as possible from the consumer and to pay out the bare minimum.
Deny.
Period. All right. So they are one of the biggest presences. I say I'm already getting fired up in Washington. So I did a little research today
The lobbies.
to look at this.
Uh-oh.
How do I get this to open? Here we go. All right. It's from opensecrets.org. Federal lobbying ranked by sectors. Okay, so this is by the hang on, I'm getting a lot of pop-ups I'm having to get out of. This is the most popular sectors of lobbyists in the United States. What's the number one lobbying sector? So you've got things like finance, communications, health, transportation, agribusiness, defense, construction, labor, lawyers. What's the biggest lobby out there, guys?
Insurance.
Health. Health
yeah.
is. Okay, so you click on health. So health lobby is $228 million, $789,881. So $228,789,881.
I think it's fair to round that to 229 million.
Let's say
So what's
$229
that
million.
for? Just like hotel rooms for the lobbyists?
Well, they have the nicest lobby out there. They've got some really nice benches,
Yeah.
some tables,
Yeah.
a great check-in counter. You should see the check-in counter in their lobby.
This is no lobby. I
May-
mean, this is
maybe
no wait. This is no
When you
waiting
walk
room.
into
This
that
is a-
lobby, you're like,
this is a reception
wow.
area.
Yeah, what's the difference between a lobby and a reception area?
The spelling. Okay, so you click on health and it breaks it down a little bit farther. And there it goes right here. So there are 2,838 lobbyists that work in the healthcare lobby in Washington, D.C. right now, spending the $229 million. Of those, 46.9 are former government employees. Now, here is your breakdown of where these things come from. Pharmaceuticals and health products are 120 million. Health services, HMOs, your insurances, things like that, 36 million of it.
So that first group is what we would call big pharma.
Big pharma.
A big chunk of it. The third one down is health services, HMOs. And that doesn't, there are some insurers that are included under one of the other categories. So I found this stat via Google AI. In 2024 alone, the pharmaceuticals and health products industry spent approximately $293.7 million on lobbying, followed by electronics, manufacturing, and equipment, which was $189 million, and insurance, $117 million. This indicates that the health sector, including pharmaceuticals, continues to be the dominant force in lobbying expenditures. So we know that these people spend a ton of money in Washington to control politics, because if you can control the politics, you can control the, what's the word I'm looking for? The law, the way these things are set up, the regulations. Okay. So their goal, like we said in the beginning, is to collect as much as possible from us, the consumer, but to spend as very little. How do they do that, and how do they influence what we do? They put copays and deductibles on you. Mm-hmm. A copay and a deductible is actually a penalty to you for using your health insurance. It is there to discourage the use of health insurance. And they say, well, you can pay a lot less monthly on your premium if you get this really big deductible. Mm-hmm. But what you're doing is ensuring that they're not going to make a payment the entire year on you, but they're going to collect your premium, and they're going to actually make more on you as a high deductible than they are on somebody with a low deductible that they're paying out for.
What happens if you don't have a copay and you're just 80-20?
You still got your deductible though, right?
Still have the deductible, but when I go to the doctor, it's not, oh, let me take your $25 like it used to be.
It's 20% of the charge.
We'll bill you because we don't know how much this is going to cost.
So I address this. Let me get down there to it.
Also, before you get to that, Jason, I wonder what happened between 2024 and 2025, because according to your source here, federal lobbying for the health issue in 2024 was $751 million. And it cut in what, a quarter? Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
It is. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, I wonder if there's regulation change that happened with the new administration coming in. I don't know. I have no clue. But, all right, to answer your question.
Doge did
so you
something.
come in with 80-20.
Yeah.
Let me, can I just.
Well, and isn't eye care different still?
We use the same codes as some of the same codes as
medicine. But like when I come in to get my prescription, whatever, you don't use my health insurance.
It depends.
Okay.
So it really depends. So let's talk general health insurance, and then we can jump into eye insurance if you want. General health insurance goes out and says, I need providers. Mm-hmm. They will come to you. Let's take Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. You open up a new practice, or a new group comes into the town. Blue Cross comes to you and they're going to say, we cover 2 million lives in this area. 1 million of them are within, 30 miles from here. We'd like you to be a provider. If you'll see our patients, we agree to pay you this amount for each patient visit. And it's based on the codes. It's a reduced amount. So let's say a 99213 level code, which is a code that's kind of your basic, you go in, health exam, most everybody's billing a 99213. Let's say I charge you $100 for it if you're a cash price. Mm-hmm. The insurance company comes in and says, if you want to see that patient and bill us, we're going to pay you $50. For the privilege of seeing our patients, we'll give you $50. We'll give you half of what you would normally charge. And then they're going to turn around to the patient and they're going to charge the patient $20, which means the insurance pays me $30. So I'm getting reimbursed $50 for a $100 service. And so I'm writing off 50%. So like my practice this year to date, we've written off, I tried to look at it this afternoon. It's like I think we've written off about 46 or 7% of our gross income because of insurance adjustments.
Gotcha.
It's just a big number that comes down. And that may not be exact. I was doing it quickly in between patients looking at it. But for the privilege of seeing their patients, I'm paying them a negotiated price. So how do you determine what you're going to get reimbursed? And this goes to your 80-20 question.
Yeah.
So your insurance will pay 80%, your 20%. Well, if that 213 code is $50, it's easy math.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to pay. The problem is the general public doesn't know that. And for a practice to figure that out, you've got to go in and look.
You got to bill
see-
insurance, right?
Well, not technically, because you can go, and this is what I was going to say. You can go to, like, if you go to Google and just type in Medicare reimbursement for CPT codes, you can find out what the Medicare reimbursement is. Now, I can log into my Blue Cross or United Healthcare or whatever account, and I can look at the fee schedule, and I'll know exactly what the insurance is going to pay.
But
for this.
I can't do that.
But you probably can for your own insurance, but not every insurance. It's hard to get to. They make it very, very difficult to find. But I can know that. So when you come in, if I know that ahead of time, and we do this on our insurance patients that we're seeing for medical stuff, you may owe us $17.35. The problem is in these big groups. I'm a small practice, so everything we do is in-house. My billing is in-house. My accounts receivable is in-house. So I have one person that pulls the insurance, knows what it is. We have that written out on the chart before the patient gets there. This is what, if it's this code, this is what the patient knows, so you don't have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
These big groups, UAB,
Centralized billing.
they have centralized billing. So the person you're talking to in the practice has
Not my job.
they have no clue. And they're not doing a good job of explaining it because that's going to take more time in the office, and they want you in and out as fast as possible. So the problem with insurers is they're not wanting to reimburse the physicians, and the physicians have to see more people, because for me to make what, like when I set fees, I go through and I look at my expenses. Here's what it costs to open the door per day. This is how many patients I need to see per day. This is what I got to charge per patient to see it.
But you don't
roughly.
get to negotiate with Blue Cross.
Oh no,
They're
not
just
going to
like
negotiate at all.
we're charging, or we're paying this much, and you.
That's right. You take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, well, there's another 500 docs in the state of Alabama that take it.
Yeah.
They can go there. So to answer your question about, well, what if I come in and I have cash? Can I get a discount? Absolutely. I will tell you, and let's hope this doesn't get out into the Blue Cross world and some of these other worlds. You walk into any medical practice in this state for sure, especially the smaller ones, and you say, I don't have insurance, but I can pay you cash. They are going to find every way to work with you for a number of reasons, and they're going to give you a discount. Number one, you paying them directly that day in cash, they don't have to pay somebody to bill it. They don't have to pay somebody to refile it at least once, because you get rejections all the time for stupid reasons. They don't have to pay somebody to send you an invoice for whatever percentage or amount was there. So when I bill insurance, it goes out today for Blue Cross about a week and a half, 10, 12 days later, I might see that claim come back. I might get paid or it might be rejected. If it's rejected, I got another week to 10 days that I'm going to have to process it and hope it comes back in. Then I got to bill you, and you're going to pay me in either, on average, about 64 days. So it's taken me 2.5 months to get paid $50 for a service you did 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Whereas if you come in for cash and I say, it's normally $100, but in this case, I'll do it for 70. Well, you've just made my life easier. I'm taking less off you, but in the long run, from a profit margin standpoint, I'm making a little bit more because I'm not having to pay for the time to do all the other chasing. The problem with that is if the insurance company comes in and sees, okay, you've been charging your cash patient $70,
They're going to lower what they reimburse you.
but you're charging us this, they can look at that as a type of insurance fraud. So there's other games that you have to play to make that a legal thing. You have to do it as a cash pay discount or something like that.
So somebody with insurance, though, that's still not advantageous for them not to use their insurance.
No, they still should probably use it.
Yeah.
But that is if they're going to cover stuff. Because the other thing that insurers do is you call them and you say, hello, this is Tim Layton. I'm just calling to see if this doctor's on my provider list and are these procedures covered? And they're going to say, well, let me pull. And the people they hire that answer the phones are not the most helpful, brightest people in the world.
Agree.
I believe they intentionally hire lower education people at times to make it harder for you to get an answer. Because you know the game they play. Patrick, you talked about it.
Yeah.
They're going to send you, well, I can't answer that. And you say, well, let me speak to your supervisor. My thing is always, who can make this decision? That's who I need to talk to. And I play that game everyone I call. The problem is that they're going to say, yep, he's a provider and that procedure looks like it's covered. Well, you come in to see us. Our system may even say we're a provider and that procedure's covered. We send it out, clean claim, no mistakes on it. They send it back and say, no, he's out of network. So they've told you we're in network. They've told us we're in network, but now they say it's out of network. And then I have to chase it down on my end, bill you, and hope that I end up getting paid. I dropped a major insurance, one of the Medicare Advantage plans 3 years ago because we weren't getting paid. We were seeing patients. I had patients that had been seen a year and a half ago. We never got reimbursed. Patients are mad because they were told it's covered. We're mad because we were told it's covered. Insurance just don't care.
Yeah.
And what happens is they hope that it's more aggravation for you, the patient, to call the insurance company, or for me, the provider, to call the insurance company than it's worth. You drop it and they keep that money and they just continue to feed the cash cow. And that's the game insurance plays. And if I get out of practice within the next 5 to 10 years, let's be more realistic, 3 to 7 years, which I will be done in 3 to 7 years. I'm just tired of dealing with this game. It's going to be not because of patient care. I love being in the exam room with the patients. I love taking care of people. It's going to be because it's so hard working with these insurers. And the reason when you go to the doctor's office that you're waiting sometimes 2.5, 3 hours, some of it's poor management, 100%. A lot of it is for that doctor to make what he needs to make per patient encounter. He's got to see 2 people in the same time he used to see 1.
Gotcha.
And that's because of the insurance cuts.
So 2 questions. What's the, I guess, market for just a cash only practice?
Oh, I've got 3 models that I've written out at home where I've looked at possibly just saying, hey, I'm going to step away from this and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to have a spot for 3,000 patients. And 3,000 patients, you pay me this amount a month and I will take care of your glasses. I will take care of a pair of glasses, pair of contacts, and your exam, 1 exam every year. If you have medical insurance, I'll still be a provider for that. If you come in with an eye infection, I'll send it off just like a regular medical. But the vision plans drop them completely because the way the vision plans work is patients usually pay somewhere around $19 to $25 a month for their vision plan. And the vision plans where we might bill, say, $145, $150, they reimburse $40. They tell the patient, your glasses are covered, but they don't tell them they're not completely covered.
Right.
And it's the biggest aggravation. And I have multiple models of that where I've thought about it. It's surviving the first year and a half because I've learned this over years, dropping insurances over the last few years. People want to go where their insurance is covered.
Right.
We've cut a number of them over the years, and those patients generally disappear. Now, what's cool about it is if they get on an insurance that you take, they're eager to come back. And I've had some that said, I don't care what it costs, I'm going to come back and see you, which is the greatest compliment a patient can pay you. But the aggravation is, can I survive? Can I not go belly up as a business the first 18 months? If you can survive it the first 18 months, you're fine. And I could, by doing that, staff, if you're listening, I probably can't do this right now, but you could reduce the amount of staff you need. Because right now, so we're on pace to see 5,000 or 6,000 patients this year. We could see 3,000 and be more profitable if we could go to a cash pay system.
Yeah. So that The reason I asked
But you
that
got
is
to you got to get that mindset out into the public, right?
And that's hard. And there's a lot of medical doctors that have started the concierge
so
practices.
so that's why I brought that up,
Yeah.
because looking around for some of Amy's stuff, we just keep beating our heads against the wall because of all the things you're talking about, where insurance plays a game, or this thing over here that we have done before, they won't cover now, or cover whatever. And I mean, I've found a few in Birmingham that you pay, I don't know, $100 a month to, and then you go in there and they'll see you anytime you need it for sniffles, for vaccinations, for anything. And things like, I mean, they publish their costs. So things like you need a blood test done. Well, it's $3 or whatever. It's, I mean, it's very cheap, right? And you can, I mean, the way it sounds like you can almost just call them anytime you want to, and either get a quick appointment, or they'll just answer the phone or whatever. But I've thought about that, except if you drop insurance and you don't have insurance, and I only have the availability of 2 plans at work, either the normal kind of, what they call it, PPO, or the high deductible plan, which is only about $100 difference in the premium.
Yep.
$100 less for the high deductible, but then the high deductible covers even less, thousands of dollars less. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't legally, right? I can't not have
all
insurance.
It takes is one major catastrophic event without insurance, and you're belly up. You are. And that's if we ever did that at my practice, it would be, we would drop every vision plan out there because they're all junk.
Yeah.
I would rather see a 75-year-old with Medicare that's got cataracts and glaucoma than a 25-year-old that wants 4 pair of glasses, because the reimbursement is so much less than taking care of the medical need. And that's just the nature of the business. I mean, I love seeing both. I'm not saying I won't see them. I love seeing patients.
But you got to make money.
But one of them is definitely more profitable than the other. And that's why, I mean, I know, I get it. I hear it all the time. Doc, you're just too high. Well, yeah, we're high because a lot of where we make our income in the eye care industry is on retail sales.
Yeah.
And we're with the market on retail sales. We're actually, for those who are asking, we're actually a little below market at Leeds Family Eye Care. Leeds Family Eye Care, 7913 Parkway Drive, 205-702-4380.
Right on the main drag.
But
Eye care provider of the Passages podcast and crew.
It is it's a game, and it really, and there's a lot of docs out there that just show up, pen and paper. Well, they don't even do that anymore. They're stylus and tablet, and just see patients and go home at the end of the day. I'm on the other end of it because I'm a practice owner and I'm the practitioner there. And it just saps the fun out of it. If I knew now, if I had known 30 years ago what I know now, maybe even 25 years ago what I know now, I would have run from healthcare and being in healthcare as far as I could. And people ask me all the time, they're like, Doc, your kid's going to take over this after you? And I said, no. Every time they brought up going to school and doing healthcare, I punched them so that they would Pavlov's dog and stay away from it. So,
several years ago, I found a dermatologist that I just absolutely loved. And his name, Timothy McGraw.
I love the guy. I've seen him.
Not the country singer.
No. He's my.
Well, he's not anymore.
Was,
unfortunately.
But I followed him to his new practice.
He was in a place at St. Vincent's.
I may have seen him because of you.
Maybe because I've told everyone about him, because the first time I went to see him, I had these 2 spots on my temples that are now gone. But and my previous experience with a dermatologist was basically, hey, put that robe on and I need to take everything else off.
Yep.
And the nurse came in and looked me over, and then the doctor came in for literally like 3 seconds and made me take the gown off and like spin in front. And it was like very humiliating.
They put you like on a lazy Susan. You didn't even get to spin yourself.
No,
they spun you.
Well, I had to spin myself.
Okay.
This doctor
we
was
went
too
to a
cheap for
different
that.
place. Yeah.
So when I found McGraw,
and he was the real McGraw.
He was. My first appointment with him was an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep.
He sat in the exam room with me, and took care of the things that I needed that I went for. But then I started talking to him about my hair, and we talked about my shampoo. I was using a shampoo I'd found, and he wanted to know about it. He looked it up and was looking at ingredients, and so I followed him to his new place, and I saw him there once. And then they called me this year and said he's moved out of state. So I went to see someone else there because I needed a refill and just to, my yearly check.
Not the same.
Not the same. Not bad, but not the same. I always like it when they say you can keep your underwear on, and then when the doctor comes in, you can say I'm okay below the belt, and they don't need to go lower, right? They'll look at chest and back and
McGraw
legs.
is that way. He was very much about your what's the word I'm looking for? Just being
like dignity, comfort.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And so this guy told me that McGraw's wife's parents live in Canada. They had to move to Maine to something happened. Like they're sick or something. They had to move to Maine. And I'm just like, it might almost be worth flying up there once a year for vacation and then going and seeing Dr.
If you
McGraw.
need a buddy pass just to go, because I love him and it broke. He told me when I was there to see him for my I had a spot removed and I was talking to him and he was like, by the way, this is probably the last time I'm going to see you. And now that I know where he is, he may have thought that.
We need to find him.
I would go up there. All right. So we went, I'm sweating profusely after talking about insurance.
We do need a quick shout out to Drew. Thank you for turning the air on, Drew.
And keep it coming because I'm going to jump into one other grinds my gears. So I just got back from vacation. Wonderful trip. But there's a few things about going to the beach that grind my gears.
All right.
Sand.
That I knew it.
It literally grinds and chafes my gears.
Whatever your gears may be, it grinds them and chafes them.
Sand is nature's glitter. It literally gets everywhere. And like herpes, you cannot get rid of it. You are stuck with it.
All right.
Herpes type 1, that's cold sore herpes. Yeah.
Okay.
You cannot get rid of it. I love the beach. I could be a beach bum. I love it. I can sit out there under an umbrella in the shade all day. I did that 6 days last week. But I cannot stand sand getting everywhere. I'm okay with it on the beach. When I'm on the beach, if it's between my toes, hey, that's cool. I'm okay with it as I walk back to the house. But when I get to the house and take that weird broken hose that every place you stay at the beach has, it's never a full water hose. It's a piece of a hose. And you rinse off, and then you take the little outdoor shower to rinse off. I don't want any more sand on me. We were driving home and we stopped in Troy, Alabama to eat at a Baumhauer's because you can't go to Baumhauer's here without going to Vestavia. I love Baumhauer's. There's a new one in T. Roy. So we stopped. I'm sitting in the restaurant and I was like, my head itches. So I took my hat off and I had a clump of sand in my hair. I had had a shower that morning. And it was all in my hat. It looked like there was sand. It looked like our seat we were in Baumhauer's had been snowed in. It was like a beach seat.
I opened up in the back of the Tahoe. There's the little, I don't know, cubby hole in the back, you lift the floor up.
Yeah.
And just last week, and we went to the beach last year.
Yeah.
And when I opened it up, there was sand that like fell from where the hinges are and not an insignificant amount of it. I'm with you on this one.
That's just one of those things. Yeah. All right. The second thing that grinds my gears at the beach, I'm very specific where I go to the beach. I go to a beach where there is not a lot of people. At any time, there could be no one within 50 to 100 yards of me on either side. I don't have to step over people. I don't have to walk by people. There's not a lot of kids. There's not a lot of teenagers. It's just a quiet beach until this year. There was a family that would only come out for about an hour. Thank goodness, because I would probably be in jail if it had been more than that. And they had a son who I would place at around 8 years of age, maybe 7, who was infatuated with the seagull and loved to chase the seagull. And while chasing the seagull, like to make seagull sounds.
Oh,
and
nice.
Seagulls have kind of a high-pitched little squeal.
What does it sort of sound like?
I'm not doing it because it drives me insane.
Really?
I had a moment where I looked at Cassie, and I like the kayak. I always take my kayaks to the beach. And I looked at Cassie and I said, if he makes one more sound, I'm going to take him so far offshore that we can't see land, and we're going to see how he can swim. Oh, it was awful, y'all. For a solid hour, he was running
like
around
that.
the beach, squealing as loud as possible like a seagull. And I wanted to drown him. This is my confession that I had evil thoughts about drowning a child. I did not do it, so I'm still here and able to continue the podcast.
Well,
Number
we're glad.
3 things about the vacation that grinds my gears.
Yes.
People that feed gulls. And this is going to hit home. I'm going to hear about this because my family likes to throw goldfish, not the real ones, but the little crackers, to seagulls.
I bet they'd take either one, wouldn't they? You think?
You know the problem with feeding seagulls? You can't just feed one, because if you throw one little goldfish to their
they
friend,
tell all their friends.
they do. And the next thing you know, you're surrounded by 30. Okay, that's enough. That's the sound he was making. That is the exact sound he was making. And it was driving me crazy. Okay. The problem with the gulls is you get one, you get 50.
Yeah.
And what do they do?
Then it's like dive bombing or whatever.
When they just kind of float in the air right there above you. And if you're not completely under an umbrella, do you know what happens?
They give you a little
Bird
something.
poop.
You get pooped on. I did not get pooped on this year. I've seen people get pooped on, but I have a fear of being pooped on. I don't do poop. I mean, I do poop, but I don't do poop.
We're glad to hear
poop.
that you do it. It'd be terrible.
I just said that live on air. That's pretty good. So anyway, that drove me nuts. Number 3, mosquitoes.
No, number 4.
Number 4, mosquitoes. Letter D, mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes on this island the size of condors. You can hear them coming down the beach. Like y'all seen the video this week of the Blue Angels going over the pier in Pensacola?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what the mosquitoes were like going by me.
Wow.
Poof, they were gone. Anyway, I've got mosquito bites from head to toe. I'm probably going to have encephalitis or malaria or something.
If you need it, I have a year's supply that we're condensing into a month of Zyrtec at home.
Okay.
So you need a little,
Yeah, I may.
little antihistamine.
Yeah.
Maybe next year before you go, you could invest in some Avon Skin So Soft.
I should try that. I thought about just pinning a dryer sheet to my swimsuit and walking
that'd be
around. I
good.
hear that works, or maybe a little bat on my shoulder, because there's a lady that goes to church here that when kids come and work at her house, sometimes she'll pin little paper and plastic bats on their shirt because it scares the mosquitoes away.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that or not.
Did not know that.
All right. Letter E, number 5, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Sunblock being rubbed off. Guys, I use enough sunblock when I go to the beach, and I use the 50 SPF that I look like a stick of chalk. I am so white, covered in sunblock. When I lather that stuff on, it's amazing how thick I put it on. And I do really well, because if I get in the water, I get out or reapply. Except for I like to kayak. And when you're kayaking and you're a little overweight, your belly kind of dunlaps over your belt, your waistband, and the bottom of your belly rubs because you're doing this motion. And so it's rubbing. Well, I got sunburned in one spot this year.
Oh, no.
About a 1.5 inch streak that runs right below my belly button where it rubbed on my waistband.
Quite possibly the worst place.
It's a very uncomfortable place.
that's
I like big
painful.
belt buckles. It's been a rough week.
Oh,
Cannot
man.
lie.
And then my final. Oh no, I actually have one more. No, I have 2 more.
Write that down, Tim.
And then I'll be done.
I
Okay.
like big belt buckles and I cannot lie. No other brother can't deny. All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Guys,
Are we on number 5?
this
Number
is
6.
Number 6.
F.
I missed one.
Number
Guys.
6.
People wear things at the beach
Yes, they do.
that they should never wear in
Yes,
public.
they do.
Some people wear things at the beach that look like they're not wearing anything.
People
beach.
who should not be wearing little
Yes.
love to wear little.
Yes.
I want to say this: cover up, people. You know, I'm all
Put
for
your
being
clothes on.
I'm all for people being comfortable in their skin, comfortable with their appearance. I like that. I like it when people are not self-conscious. But before you wear something out to the beach, find a friend, find a loved one, find an honest person, and just say,
Somebody that'll tell you the truth.
is this okay? If they go, wow, don't wear it. Take it off, put on sweatpants. I don't care. Put on more clothes. And I'm not a prude. I love the beach. I don't think people need to wear swimming jeans at the beach. When I go to the beach, I wear swimming trunks. I pull the shirt off. It doesn't matter that I'm fat and that I look like a woman. I still am going to walk around shirtless because I'm at the beach. And that's just what I do. But if the material you are wearing is smaller in content than a booger rag or a hanky,
the hanky reference.
You should not wear it. And yes, that goes for the men too, because there was a couple of groups of men that were coming up and down the beach, and their swimsuits may have been smaller than some of the women.
Are we talking Speedo style, or are we talking just short?
Oh no, we're talking.
That was a lot of shorts.
We're talking. What is a step like? You go swim shorts, trunks, shorts, trunks, Speedo. What's the next step?
Thong. Is there a next step?
These were not all the way to the, the floss, but they were not appropriate. And I was uncomfortable. Don't wear that. And then my last gripe, and then I will stop because I've talked too long. Guys, we have got to do something about the traffic on Interstate 65. We can land people on the moon. We have a rover on Mars. Why in the world can we not do something about the traffic on Interstate 65?
Just like we spent now 2 episodes talking about what is all wrong with insurance. Yeah. We need to spend an episode digging in. We can turn this into like an investigative journalist segment. We need to dig into things like how ALDOT works.
Yeah.
And why it takes 57 years to add a lane to an interstate.
People on Interstate 65, listen to me. Stop hitting your brakes.
Oh, I was going to say, don't stop.
Man.
Every time the car in front of you slows down just a little bit. You do not have to hit your brakes if you feel yourself advancing on the car in front of you.
And just let off the gas.
Just let off the gas. The car will slow down. You do not have to slow down by hitting your brakes, because when you hit your brakes, the person behind you hits their brakes. Then the person behind them hits their brakes. And a mile down the road, somebody stops. And all you had to do was take your foot off the gas. Okay.
Well, is that a function of them following too closely, though?
I think it is. It's probably a little of that. And I think it's a lot of people are on their phones.
Yeah.
And so when they look up, it's like, oh, I'm closer. And they panic and hit the brake. Yeah. People, when a car is on the side of the road, do not slow down and look at it.
Who cares what's going on over there?
Don't look. Just go by them.
Just go.
You can move to the center lane. You can do whatever, but don't slow down to look.
We're back there saying, what in the world's going on up there that we're stopped for? And you get up there, and it's just a car sitting on the side of the road.
And they're not even doing anything. It's just a car.
It's not upside down. It's not on fire. There are not people outside of it beating each other up.
I'm telling you,
there's nothing going on.
All things that are appropriate to slow down and gawk at.
Absolutely.
If I have been sitting in traffic for 45 minutes, moving at 3 miles an hour, there better be teeth, hair, and eyeballs all over the place when I get up there. I do not want to just see a car stalled on the side of the road and know that everybody's been looking.
We should talk one day about the zipper merge also.
Yeah, we should. We should, because we don't know how to do it.
People don't understand it.
Yeah.
No.
And it's simple.
It's simple.
It's not hard.
Super simple.
You and me and you and me and you.
Okay. My last one, and probably my most frustrating one. People on Interstate 65, listen to me, because I'm going to have a stroke one day trying to go to the beach or trying to get home from the beach. If you cannot drive 80 miles an hour, do not get in the left lane. Don't even look at the left lane. In fact, get off the road and take the state highway or the scenic byways, or stay at home. I don't really care, but don't be in the left lane. Because if I'm driving 80 and you're driving 65 in the left lane, drives me crazy.
And I have to hit my brakes, and the people behind them have to hit their brakes.
If you see
brakes,
a 3/4 ton truck or a ton truck behind you riding your bumper, flashing his headlights, blowing his horn because you're going 65 in the left lane.
Like that guy behind Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Oh, it drives me crazy. There's no wonder there's so many road rage incidents on Interstate 65. That stretch between Birmingham and Clanton, someone is going to die there one day, perhaps by my hand.
Alabaster. Oh.
Along
It's
with
awful.
a screeching child on the beach.
Oh, guys, I feel so much better. Thank you for allowing me a space to vent. I will save my little conspiracy theory for another night.
I found Dr. McGraw.
Oh, where is he?
He's at the Maine Dartmouth Dermatology Center for something in Waterville, Maine.
If you don't think it's weird, can we schedule buddy trips up there?
I would go. I would 100% go up there once a year.
Yep.
And have my my skin checked and get my prescription
It's separate
refilled.
rooms. I don't want to be in the same room
yeah.
with you. That would be uncomfortable.
What if they have? What if we walk in and there's two lazy Susans in the same room? And you're like, step, no. Mr. Birch, you get on the right one, and Mr. Pullum.
I love you, Mr. Birch, but I do not want to see you in an unclad moment.
Well, I'm coming to your beach next year and wearing a whatever's less than a Speedo. No, I'm not. Amy wouldn't let me out of the. Amy wouldn't let me leave the city of Leeds
with your skin tone. Can you imagine the sunburn some of those areas would see?
I would be. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think it's about time for a break. Do you guys want to do a bad preacher or?
Let's do a bad preacher when we get back.
All right. Well, we got a bad preacher coming up, and we'll see y'all back in I guess for you in a couple of seconds. I'd already started recording, Tim. I'm leaving that in. Welcome back, passengers. It's about 27 minutes in real time later. We had to give Jason a cold shower after he got so worked up. But I think it's time for
Bad Preacher.
By the way, I love that. It's so much better than the song.
Yeah,
could it be
Satan? We will eventually get another remix, but until then, I think I'm going to boycott it.
No, I'm good with the. In fact, if Brother Drew hadn't put so much work putting that together, I would just say, just wipe it.
Yeah. Well, tonight's bad preacher comes from. I actually am not real sure the guy's name. I think it's John Gray. And he is, I've done exactly zero research.
Which is very atypical for passages.
Oh,
yeah. We don't.
Normally we're all buttoned up.
He is, he is the senior pastor of the Relentless Church in Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, it's good to be relentless.
And, he has an interesting preaching style, you guys.
Really, words can't describe it.
Words cannot describe it. Let's let Mr. Gray.
Let's listen in.
Yeah.
Close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
You picking up what he's laying down so far, Tim?
Yeah.
You feel a cold hand. The devil is trying to stop your heart. So close your eyes and realize this is not imagination. And all the while, the King of Kings, he wants your very life. Your very life. His name is Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Jason, stop doing the moonwalk.
Just to give eternal life. His name is Jesus. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Bled and died and rose to bring you eternal life.
We really need to get video because the dancing that goes on with these things.
He's choreographing this thing as he's doing it. And I don't know if you noticed it in the video. I watched it a couple of times today. One of the ladies in the crowd is having a really hard time keeping it together. And I don't mean like she's up and dancing, about to fall on the floor laughing.
Uh-huh.
It's a lady in kind of a purple, pinkish colored dress, and she is nearly doubled over laughing. And it is amazing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You're not getting to see that.
No.
And I know you did your research and watched it a few times this afternoon.
Right.
He's at the pulpit. I mean, this is like during Sunday morning worship.
But I think this is a recurring thing for him because there's also this.
Said I want to be starting something, got to be starting something. Said I want to be starting something, got to be starting something. Got so hard to get over, so low to get under. You're not stuck in the middle, cause your God is thunder.
And there's a couple of, I think this video stitches a couple of these together. And I mean, bad preaching, but
he's pretty good at getting the words where they fall in the right place.
I mean, he's done some work.
He needs to work on his. It's a little bit of a.
He's not quite as skinny as Michael Jackson was. He may not be able to hit that real high note.
No.
But Jesus is crying, so baby, don't you die. Wanna be starting something, got to be starting something. So you wanna be starting
The
something.
first one was better than this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a third one.
But I just. Can you imagine you walk into church Sunday morning in your Sunday best,
And
then
all of a sudden, an MJ concert breaks out.
and he didn't even have on white socks. I was disappointed. I mean, he should have had on white socks. Now, at one point, he did lean forward on the stage. It was the coolest thing.
Did he have one glove on for no apparent reason?
Yeah. Well, he was his batting glove. That's
Wow, that's a goodie.
That's watching it and seeing the crowd react to it too made my day, because there are some people that are like, I don't know what we're doing here, but this is pretty funny.
So I would have to put him above the guy. Didn't the other guy have the keyboard?
Yeah.
He just had the keyboard,
the
right?
third eagle.
Yeah, third eagle.
So the question is, what song do we want Drew to make up lyrics to?
Oh, it's
that he can lead us in one Sunday. I mean, Thriller's been taken, so you can't go with Thriller.
I'm gonna have to go with The Man in the Mirror.
Oh, well, that's a sermon in itself, Tim.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is a sermon in itself.
But
I
if
mean,
he would,
I'll start with The Man in the Mirror.
If he would at least sing the lyrics,
asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
It's actually kind of cool how you might not have to even change the words.
No, I mean, it's like, it's a perfect song. I have heard it taught in a
maybe
Devo.
in a Devo. Yeah.
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 But not sung in a Devo.
Not sung.
Oh.
No.
So, Drew, your challenge is any Michael Jackson song. We need you to mix up some of the lyrics. Maybe bring us a little song. Maybe Billie Jean. Probably that's probably not churchworthy.
The look on Tim's face.
No, I probably shouldn't do that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Tim says Elton John is also available. Any
That's
of his
right.
songs, yeah.
That's right. We don't know. Maybe Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
We really don't know what that means and why Tony Danza was there.
We're not sure,
but
I mean,
it was weird.
He was quite young in 1970 when that was written.
But I think that would liven things up just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll follow up with Drew on that.
Yep.
Next time.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes with our message, or for you, 30 seconds. Welcome back. It's time for our passage of the evening, and this is one I brought to the table. This is one that I found in a book I read named "Scary Close: Dropping the Act and Finding True Intimacy" by Donald Miller. I I'm always a little nervous about recommending books because what I think is good and other people may not think it's very good. But to me, this book was a really, really good read. If you have trouble with being authentic, if you have problems with kind of putting on masks, this is a good book to read. It really is insightful in what it teaches. And I have saved tons and tons of quotes and passages out of it. But I really like this one. And after we got to talking about it today, it's very similar to one Patrick brought up. It was really similar to one that we did by Tim Keller a few episodes ago. But I'm going to read the quote. We don't have a famous person to read it today, just me.
Just Jason.
And I've calmed down, so I won't be quite as high-pitched as I was earlier. I will not do it in the form of
Jason, you're pretty famous in the Leeds community.
More infamous, I think.
Well,
my wife is the famous one in the Leeds community.
Famous is in the word infamous.
By the way, I found out today, this is totally not related to the passage, but we brought up Cassie being famous. I found out today the school has hired yet another one of her first grade students to be teaching
that's cool.
at the school system. So I think that's 3 or 4 now that she taught that now teaches at the school. I thought that was really cool. Anyway, so the quote by Donald Miller from the book Scary Close. The risk of being known is also the decision to be criticized by some. So the risk of being known is also the decision to be criticized by some. And I really like this because it talks about being real, being vulnerable, being open, being transparent with who you are, and understanding that in doing that, you are going to have people that are critical of what you say, what you do, how you act, who you are. And that if you're going to be real, if you're going to be open, if you're going to be transparent and known, then you need to be prepared to have some criticism or some negative feedback coming back your way. And I like it because we talk a lot about the need to be vulnerable. In my life, I wish I'd been vulnerable and open and honest with who I was and where I was and what I was doing and what I was thinking. 30 years ago or so, instead of 2 years ago, life would have been a lot different for me. And it's good to be open. It's good to be honest. It's great to be transparent and vulnerable. And we talk about that and the importance of it, but sometimes in that we fail to mention the risk of doing that. And the risk of doing that is if you're honest about who you are, there are people who are going to judge you. There are going to be people who criticize you. There are going to be naysayers in your life, and you need to be prepared for it. It's kind of like, in Scripture, it says if you're a Christian, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to face persecution. Well, if you're real, vulnerable, open, and exposed as to who you are and honest in that, you're going to face criticism. You're going to face some hard times because of that. You may not be able to have some of the friends that you used to. You may lose friends. You may gain friends. You never know. But there's a price to pay for that openness.
Yeah. You mentioned this book that that's coming from a book that you'd read. So probably what you're saying there, it fits this more in context. When I read this, I thought about just the whole idea of people who decide to put themselves out there in public, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can live a life of privacy if you choose to do so. And that life keeps you fairly shielded from criticism, right? So just depending on, the amount of exposure that you have to the rest of the world, is directly related to the amount of criticism that you might receive.
Yeah.
And so when you think about just some examples, right? I'll just think about our town, right? So if I decide that I'm going to run for public office, right? I mean, you put yourself out there. That's really a noble pursuit. I mean, nobody, I think in general, is going to get rich from being a city councilman in Leeds, Alabama. I think that's a fairly noble pursuit. But that you can be subject to an awful lot of criticism for putting yourself out there in an attempt to do that. Getting involved in a church, getting involved in a civic organization, coaching baseball out there at the ballpark. You know, people do those things, generally speaking, for good, noble causes, to volunteer, to serve others. But almost all of those subject people to criticism because people will, that's what people do in a lot of cases. Not what we should do. You know, we should do a lot more building up of people than criticism. But this quote speaks a truth, and so there is something to be said, and I think a life worth living is a life where you're willing to put yourself out there, because the other one is really just hiding from the world. Mm-hmm. And so, finding ways to serve and get involved in things and lead in places is all good. But unfortunately, you do have to know sort of what you sign up for. There's always going to be, naysayers and Monday morning quarterbacks and all of that who are going to criticize what you're doing for any number of motives. Jealousy, just because they like to throw darts at in general. Don't feel good about myself, so hurt people. Just whatever it may be. But, I'm not saying it's not worth doing, because I think a life worth living is getting out there and trying things and doing things and serving others and getting involved. But unfortunately, it is subject to that criticism.
I was thinking about this from a little different perspective of not necessarily doing something that might make me famous. Because really anybody can be famous these days. It used to be you kind of had to make your name and get out there. Now you just pick up a phone and record yourself and you might go viral, right? Mm-hmm. But the whole being known thing, like we talked about back, I don't know what episode it was, but with the Tim Keller quote, that was talking about love. Being loved is, I think it was something along the lines of, to be truly loved is to be known, or something, something close to that. So, in this thing, to be known, if you're famous, the people, that are out there criticizing you or loving you don't really know you, because they know what you're putting out. They know what you show on social media, or they know what, the character that you play or whatever it is. Cause I think a lot of that, I think a lot of air quote famous people, it's just a character they're playing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
If you went to their house on a random Tuesday night,
not even necessarily famous people, right?
Right.
But just,
But if you go to
people in the public eye of any level and sort, right?
Right.
It may not be the real person there, and often is not. You
go to Tom Cruise's house on a random Tuesday night. Is he anything like what he puts out on when he's on, there's cameras or whatever? Might be a bad example, but in this one, if you're trying to be known by someone, you're trying to, in the way I'm thinking about it, you're trying to, make a friend or have a close relationship with somebody, and not all of those work out. Some people, like, jealousy, right. You mentioned, some people are going to start to get to know you, and then they're going to get real jealous of you. And so then, right. They know you to a certain extent, but now they're going to go talk about you behind your back, or
if I just make myself vulnerable and I share more and more about myself with you, maybe you don't like those things.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so, there is a risk of being known very much in that way. Mm-hmm. Going back to where Jason was coming from about the vulnerability of it all. The more we let others know about us, more depth there is to our relationships, but also there's a risk there.
Sometimes depth is scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really like, having read this book and reading that quote in the context of the book, you're right. I had not even thought about it in the way you described it, and I really like the way you put it about and even the perspective. It's funny, all three of us kind of read it in a little bit of a different perspective, and it's really it really all boils down to, no matter what you're doing, if you're real in who you are, if you're genuine, if you're sincere in who you are, whether that's in the public eye, in a close friendship, in relationships, in love, then you're putting yourself out there to risk. And if you are risk averse, it's going to be really, really hard to develop deep, genuine relationships, friendships, just like it's going to be really hard for you to say, hey, I'm going to run for the mayor of here.
And we've talked about this, I know, on a number of different occasions, but if you don't do that, if you don't put yourself out there with others, if you don't share, your genuine self, you can protect yourself from some level of hurt or criticism in some way. It's not the life worth living. It's not the way that you want to live. The downside of that is so much greater, because with it, you're living this, you're hiding.
Yep.
And, and
lonely.
And you're lonely.
Yep.
And even the people that know you don't know you.
Right.
And so even there's an artificial nature to any relationships that you have, because if you're, playing a role, or, to Patrick, to what you were saying, it's, they're playing a character that's not really them, then the relationships with this character is not really with you.
Right.
Right. And so there's a artificial nature that protection's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I can say this pretty stinking honestly. For the first 23 years, 22 and a half, 23 years, you guys knew me. Y'all knew some of my stuff, but not, I was playing a character. I was playing a role. I was going on stage, and it's amazing. You can be surrounded by people that love you, that you quote unquote love, that you have a relationship with, that you're friends with, and you can still be the most isolated and lonely person in the world. And when you're in that situation, it starts affecting your core values. It starts affecting who you think you are, it affects your worth. And so out of that fear of being known and breaking this image you create, you just isolate deeper and deeper. You get deeper and deeper into that mask and that story and that costume.
Like a self-made prison?
It is. I mean, it's very self-destructive, sabotaging behavior. And that's why there's so many people that walk around absolutely isolated and alone, despite being surrounded by their acquaintances.
And this thing we're talking about, it's not a 0 or a 1, right?
Mm-mm.
It's not, it's not that you're either closed or you're open.
No.
One or the other. Jason, what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
I knew an awful lot about you.
Yep.
Maybe I didn't know everything.
Yep.
But I knew an awful lot in a very deep way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But, sometimes the problem with the things that we hide, right, is that they eat at us, and they're the things that we're scared about and ashamed about.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hide those things away and they eat at us. And so you may be 98% open with people, but depending on what that 2% is, it could kill you, and
literally,
and it could cost you your soul.
Absolutely.
But it could do both of those things. Right. And the point of all this is, trust people, trust your friends, trust your loved ones. Just be real with them.
That's a whole other probably episode.
Yeah.
Because, you think you can trust people.
Right.
So it's sort of like you've got to find the people you can trust.
Yeah.
While y'all were talking a second ago, I was thinking you could almost flip this flip this around and say being known is also the decision to risk to be criticized, because if you're truly known by somebody, I know the word criticize is a little negative, but you almost want your true friends and your family that love you to, I'm going to say criticize because it's the word, but you want them to tell you when something's not right.
You want to call you
out on something that's like, hey, you're not like, you've been in a really bad mood lately.
Right.
And it's affecting this and that. And like, what's going on? Right. Cause you want to get to the, what's going on part so they can help you fix it.
And to everybody that's listening to us, nobody wants to, none of us would say this is easy, right?
No.
And none of us would say that among us and among friends and family that we have, that we don't question sometimes, should I really say that to him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this is real life, you know, that we're talking about here. And it's not easy to pull these barriers down.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't do it every day, you know, and sometimes we don't do it completely. And sometimes we never do it in certain areas of our lives. But I mean, the point is, you know, to this thing, the other thing I want to say about what I was saying earlier, right, is, you know, being real with everybody, you know, Patrick, to what you were saying, sometimes it may reveal what's true and what's real in relationships.
100%.
You might lose something.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, but again, at the end of the day, it's worth knowing what's real, including those relationships, right? Who's going to really, if they really knew me, would they, whatever, would they love me?
Would you love me?
Would they like me? Would they be my friend? Would they talk about me behind my back? You know, and so for all of those things, it's worth knowing.
Yeah. It's kind of I know this was,
because who wants to live a fake life anyway?
right.
Yeah.
And I know this is more about romantic love, but it's sort of a little bit of it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved at all.
Loved it all.
To have never loved at all, where if you don't ever put yourself out there, then you don't know what it's like to have those people or family or you know, a spouse or whatever that they can truly know you because you didn't take the risk.
Right.
And I've talked a lot tonight, but I'm going to say this too. One of the most important things to remember is it doesn't matter how real you are to the people around you. God knows the heart. We talked about it in Bible class tonight. You're wide open and revealed before God. God knows the dark, ugly stuff. He knows everything. And he still let Christ die for you. And he's still like the father in the prodigal son. He's waiting on you to turn and come back to him. He's not going to, you may lose friends. You may be criticized. It may be the hardest thing you've ever done.
He's never going to turn his back on you.
But God's still going to be standing there watching for you, his child, to come back to him open, honest, broken. You know that prodigal son, when he came back, he was broken. He wanted his dad just to let him, treat him like a servant. But when you return to him, he's going to greet you. He's going to hug you. He's going to celebrate your return. And he's going to forgive you. It doesn't matter how bad you've been. It don't matter what you've got in your life. It doesn't matter what mask you've won. At the end of the day, your honesty is not hidden from God. Everything is there for God. Be vulnerable to others because it's going to help you find God.
Your dad said something tonight in class that I don't know, I perked up on, and I think is a little appropriate here. I don't remember the exact words, but the gist was, I don't know how people live without a church family.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you think about finding love or friendship or whatever word you want to use there, you know, where's a better place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you got friends.
That's what the church is for.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
to help guide you to and or bring you back to, or keep you on the path to what we're talking about here.
That's right. That's right. We've talked about this in terms of, hiding things and sin. Sometimes maybe it's even a little more nuanced than that. Sometimes it's like, are you just sort of playing a role or acting in a certain way just because you think that's what other people want out of you, but it's not really who you are? I'm always happy, or, I'm willing to sort of bend myself to fit into the mold of what I think people are going to look for someone to, be their friend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy. It's not good. No. And it's not real. And, it's not good. Be who you are.
Yeah.
Right. Be who you are. If people, if a person or a group doesn't accept you for that, go find another group.
Yeah.
Go find another person.
There's somebody that, I know I'm bringing up a lot of like romantic love quotes here, but there's someone out there for everybody.
That's right.
There's a group of people out there that are your people.
Yeah.
And it might take a little while to find them.
Right.
And don't give up.
Right. And wherever that group is and whoever they are, don't define your self-worth through, are they the group you thought you were going to be with or whatever? That's part of being real, right?
It's like
find where you fit.
Yeah. It's like sitting at the nerd table at lunch and looking over at the popular kids and wishing you were over there.
Right. Right. Yeah. But if you really like all the people at this table,
what's wrong?
They aren't nerds.
Right.
Right. I mean, they're your friends,
or they are nerds,
right?
But that's okay.
And if that's who you are, that's great.
Right.
And so, a lot of people spend their lives trying to fit where if they were truthful with themselves, they really don't want to fit. It's not where I'm comfortable. And because of that, I'm going to act like somebody I'm really not. And this is sort of it still goes back to being known. Just be yourself.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not being yourself, you can't be known.
That's right. Nobody knows who that is.
Because they know a lie, or they know maybe it's not a lie. Maybe you're putting extra effort in that you wouldn't normally, but they don't know you, which makes you not known.
Right.
Yeah, truly.
And the more you do that, you start to lose yourself.
Yep.
Who am I really? Right. And so sometimes we have to start doing some work, right, to figure out who we are. If we've been playing games and, for a long time, sometimes it takes some work to figure out who am I really and how do I really feel? I've been faking life for so long. I've sort of lost myself.
And it's 100% worth the time to sit down and ponder that.
Yeah.
Just think about it and try to define it. That was a great quote, and not just because I picked it and I liked it.
Hitting my microphone. Sorry, we're not fighting.
We really got deep there. I want to lighten this up today just a little bit before we close. So, I was talking today to a patient who owns a restaurant, and he was telling me we actually ordered lunch from there, and he was telling me that one of his cooks had accidentally backed in to the meat grinder at the restaurant. And he said that they'd get us our food, but there was they
I can't look at
with the order.
Yeah. They said they had gotten a little behind in their work.
Jason, I was with you. I was like,
they said, I don't know. I thought they meant delay, but I think they literally meant they got a little behind in their work.
That might be the second time I can remember you getting me, because I was invested in what was about to happen.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Patrick. Sometimes, look, I'm going to be real. This is me. I'm goofy. I can't help it.
The other one we couldn't say on air.
No. No.
It may be that we need to start the dad joke of the night.
Yeah.
We need to give some thought to that.
That sounds. We had talked one time about us two just seeing if we could make each other laugh, and
just having like a back in like a what do they call them?
I know we can make you laugh. Drew's the hardest laugh in the room.
He is.
Yeah. If we get a out of Drew, I feel like we've done something. So
That's good.
well, thank y'all for listening tonight. Keep listening, share us, all that stuff. John will tell you what to do because I can't remember, and Drew's not here.
And maybe next week, will we be back to all four? I don't know. Drew's doing a lot of speaking engagements this summer, and that's good during summer series. But maybe he'll be back and we'll be at full strength.
For next week. I am on vacation the week after.
All right.
So
next week's our chance.
It's our chance.
All right.
Good night, folks.